The Celtic Unrestricted View is sponsored by AB Entertainment. It's a DJ and entertainment business. And we are also partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. Both our sponsor and our partner are on social media and can be found on Facebook or Instagram. So feel free, guys, to check them out as they offer fantastic services, and enjoy the upcoming episode. Hail, hail.
Yes, and we're back, and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View, the Dial-In Talk to Tim's Monday episode with myself and Mr. Alan Stirling. Well, Alan, positive performance, positive result, good weekend overall for Celtic, and looking forward to the big first game in the Champions League, mate. And the sun's been in Glasgow, I've got a wee red face, so we're all happy days, mate. All rosy in the garden. How are you? Hope you've had a good weekend as well.
Oh, I'm great, mate. Thank you. Hope you're well. Hope everyone that's watching's well. Yeah, it's been a nice weekend. Big pressure. As what man Mr. Lon Shanklin was saying. So
wait there. Wait, £11 million. That'll be right.
I know.
That'll be right.
It might not have been the same standard as we've been watching maybe the last few weeks in the league. But at the end of the day, it was 3 points and quite a comprehensive win. And all our players, they're all human beings. So, I mean, we can't expect, we've set quite a high standard at the start of this season. So, yeah, very happy with what's going on at Celtic at present.
Like you say, is obviously big pressure. Arne Engles, we'll touch on him as we go on the podcast, because I think it was good to see him obviously playing for the start. Alan, me and yourself did say that he probably would start. Yeah. Due to obviously the fee, and if he was that good that he'd be in the team right away. Doesn't really need to settle much. He's played a lot with Elfsberg and he's had a good kind of first team experience, so it wasn't like he would have to kind of settle in terms of he's not really played a lot of football. He looks fit, played also Belgium as well, so he's obviously got a lot of attributes and to play at that level, getting called up with Belgium as well. So just going through some of the comments. We've got Frank Kennedy, evening boys, hail. Evening, Frank, hope you're well. Also, Plunge as well. Plunge, hope you're all right. Evening, boys, hail. And evening, Alan and Ryan. Great to see you two new signings go on Saturday. Hopefully, it started as the meeting go on. Yeah, Ange, definitely. And Jim, definitely. It was good to see the guys getting on, and obviously some of the money we paid for them, getting some of that back, hopefully, as well as we go along. So, definitely good to see Arne Engles play. Evening, Ryan, Alan, and everyone in the chat. Jerry Burns, hope you're well, Jerry. Stephen Kennedy, evening, Ryan and Alan. Evening, mate, hope you're well. Chris Murray, evening, boys, and the chat. Hope you're all well. Hail. Hope you're good, Chris. Big Rab, B Niz. Hail, guys. Hail. Hope you're well. San Fran Celtic. Hail, lads. Hail. Hope you're well. And our good man, Webby, and his man on Tenerife. Webby boom, sunny, cloudy Tenerife, top boys, hail. Hope you're well, Webby. Hope you're well. Aye, Webby, you're with the two daddies tonight, mate, so hope you're well. Hail, Paul, Ryan and Alan, hail, Paul, hope you're well, mate. And Paul Evans, good man, Paul, been on the pod before. Paul Evans, good evening, guys, hope you're well. Evening, Paul, hope you're well, mate. Yes, Alan, just obviously before we go into the podcast tonight, we do have a small announcement to make. and it is regarding ourselves and a certain Mr. Joe Miller. As the banner says there, Saturday 19th of October, the Celtic Unrestricted View presents a night with Joe Miller at the Morven Bar. More information to follow. We will let you know more as the week goes on, but that is announced and that is set in stone for Saturday 19th of October with Joe Miller, with ourselves and the Morven Bar. Looking forward to that, Alan. Good to get it sorted and planning. Yes, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, massive news. Really looking forward to it, especially the kind of career Joe Miller's had, and to interview an ex-Celtic player, it should be a fantastic night. Really looking forward to it. As you say, though, we've got a few minor details just to iron out, so there will be kind of details added in the upcoming days. But yeah, they have this kind of set in stone 100%. Saturday the 19th of October. It's going to be a great night, and hopefully we meet a lot of you guys that are tuning in. So it'll be great, to something to look forward to, and should be a fabulous night.
Yep, as you says, obviously with the career Joe had and playing with Celtic for a while as well, mate. It would be great to talk to the next professional that's played with the club that we obviously support and love, and be good to get Joe's story, his career as well. So looking forward to that. As myself and Alan said there will be more details in the next few days, just a few things to iron out, obviously. But as announced, Saturday 19th of October with Joe Miller and ourselves, and it will be at the Morven Bar. More information to follow. Also, Alan, back to tonight, dial in the Tims, talk to Tims. Well, where do we start, Alan? 2-0 victory against Hearts. Offside, obviously, for the 3-0, to make it 3-0. Would have made the scoreline a wee bit more glowing for us, I would say. But overall, after the game, Alan, what was your state of play, state of thinking? Were you kind of okay with the performance, just happy to get the victory? I think overall it was comfortable. Didn't look any great shakes under any pressure. But what was your thinking after the match, mate?
I think it was a relatively good performance. I think we played relatively well. It's just we'll set that higher bar in the last few games where our performances have been really, really top notch. So this has come down to kind of acceptable performances, and it maybe wasn't as good, but it's very, very professional, and it keeps us kind of top of the league. 5 wins out of 5. 0 goals conceded, which is massive as well. And it keeps us ticking over, keeps us brimming with confidence as well, going into a kind of massive game on Wednesday night in the new format of the Champions League. So I was quietly pleased with a lot of aspects of the performance. I thought Engles, especially, maybe after the first 10-15 minutes, I thought he was tremendous. I think he was kind of trying to find his feet with maybe the pace of play. I think there was maybe a couple of times in the first 10-15 minutes he got repossessed, he got the possession taken off him. Just how fast the Scottish game is, basically, it's just adjusting to that. But I thought after that, you've seen his kind of technical ability and how good a player that he looks as if he's going to be for us. And we were all kind of worried about a replacement for Matt O'Reilly, but for our first viewings, it looks as if Engles is definitely going to be near that mark for me. And there was other good performances as well. I think Kuhn kind of stepped up to the mark as well. I think that's him started off the season brilliantly. I thought his kind of range of passing and his pace down that side was frightening. And it's just overall positive. It's just kind of keeping everything rolling, keeping everything ticking over, and we go into the next game and hopefully we can pick up our first 3 points in this new format of the Champions League.
Yeah, I think obviously when you sold Matt O'Reilly, you're thinking, right, people are, well, I think the majority of fan base were thinking, well, look, we like Bernardo, but I think in terms of obviously the financial side that we've got, and we kind of need to go and buy the Matt O'Reilly maybe quality or close to that to come in and be an impact player right away and not have to wait 6 months, a year. And I thought Bernardo, for me, I still think he's a cracking player. I did say it at the moment, he's my favourite player in terms of I just love him. I think just the way he plays, and even when he came on at the weekend, he was brilliant. So I think he's got high future at Celtic, and I do feel, I don't think it was John Hartson that says it or something. I think it was Hartson. says that he thinks that he will go for big money, and I think eventually the more he plays, I think just because his pedigree from where he's from and he's Portuguese, playing with Celtic, if he keeps playing well, eventually he will draw a lot of interest, obviously with the captain, the Portugal 21s or 23s as well, so he's obviously held in high regard from his country as well, so the more he plays with Celtic, listen, who knows if he plays in Portugal, but I'd imagine it'd be hard to keep him away from the manager's thoughts if he keeps playing well with Celtic, but Arne Engles, as we said there, big pressure on him to score the penalty, first goal for Celtic, calmly slotted away, the guy looks like he's been there and done it for years. I was really impressed with him, Aaron, really impressed with him. You can kind of, listen, it's early days, so I don't want us all to get, what a player and this and that, because you can go and have 3 or 4 bad games and fans go, who have we signed here? That's just the nature of football. But for my first impressions, Aaron, I think this guy will go from strength to strength. I just think it's the simple things for me, Aaron, that when you see a football player and they've got the basics right away, at that age, come in with a big fee, I think he's just going to take it like a duck to water. I don't think the fee concerns him. I don't think how big the club is going to concern him. I think he's just slotted in. I know it's against Hearts, but Hearts are one of the best teams in Scotland in terms of outside Celtic and them across the water. I know maybe no currently as it stands, but in terms of club size and everything else, they're third between probably third, fourth between them and Aberdeen, maybe potentially as the best on teams outside Celtic and Rangers. So I do believe that it was a decent test for him. He came through it with flying colours. It was just the simple touches, Alan. Like he was just doing things effortlessly, which he should be doing. But sometimes when a lot of players don't do the simple things, can I do it well right away? And you're thinking, is this guy going to do it here? But Arne Engles, I think he's going to be a really good player for Zara, especially on Wednesday and especially in Europe going forward.
Yeah, definitely. And the good thing, I know you mentioned about Paulo Bernardo as well. I think the good thing is that when we lost Matt O'Reilly, you're looking at, could Paulo Bernardo come in? We've now added Paulo Bernardo, Luke McCowan, Arne Engles. So if we were to lose, say, next year a Real Hitachi, then we're not panicking as much, shall we say. We've got players there that we know are capable of coming in and filling that role. So I think we need to stay on that stage of we're kind of the way we do transfers and make sure that we've got players there that we're not panicking, that can fill positions if kind of players decide to move on, which is always going to happen when we're in a kind of small league in Scotland. So I think that's a great thing. As I say, Arne Engles, he looked as if his technical ability is just that kind of notch above most of the players that we actually see. He looked very comfortable on the ball. I think, as I say early on, I think when he properly adjust to the kind of pace of the game in Scotland, I think we're only going to kind of see the fruits of that labour as well. And I can see that there's massive potential within him. And he looks as if he's going to be one of the most important players, if not the most important player in our squad in our first 11. And it's going to be very exciting to see if he can continue this trajectory and get kind of improve. And I think we might have a proper player on our hands.
What's your thoughts on this one from P. McLaughlin? I'll put this yourself, Alan. I would like to see Brendan Rodgers bolster up the midfield and play all 4 of them. It may mean a formation change, though, with 2 up front in a 4-3-1-2 system.
I'm not against 2 up front, but you look at a lot of kind of modern day football, there's very, very rarely that kind of any teams now kind of we're in the era kind of Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. There's very, very rarely that you see with 2 strikers up front. It's usually the one striker across the middle and the 2 wingers, or 2 kind of number 10s behind supporting. I doubt to see that we would play directly 2 up front. I think when there was times last year that Kyogo maybe played deeper than Adam Ida at times, I could see that could be an option. But first we need to make sure that Adam Ida's kind of on form as well. That's the main thing, because we have got 2 strikers at the club. Looks as if Kyogo's playing extremely well. But I don't see too much tinkering with the formation in terms of Brendan Rodgers. I think there might be a kind of few, when we come up against a harder Champions League opposition, I think there might be a few kind of slight tinkering within the formation, but I think it'll basically stay really the 4-3-3 system. I think you might see 2 kind of defensive-minded midfielders in the harder games, maybe to kind of clog up the midfield. But I definitely get what you're talking about, the comment. We're strengthening up the midfield. But aye, it'll be interesting to see what Brendan goes with, but I would be kind of surprised if he did go with 2 up front going forward. I think if that was his plan going forward, I think he would have brought in at least one more striker in the window.
Aye, no, I can maybe see that as well for maybe the home games in Celtic Park, maybe in the league. Just kind of going attacking teams and go gung ho. I think you could do that personally. So I can get P. McLaughlin's point there. I can see that. I think because of the midfield we've got and the options out wide and another striker and Adam Ida and Maeda, who can play a first striker if need be. Ideally, probably no, but he can play there. You've got a lot of options, Alan, in terms of formation now. I think a few weeks ago we were just really sticking with the same formation. Didn't really have enough quality off the bench to really come in and try and help the team. But you've seen the bench at the weekend. Obviously, look, McKimmon come on, looked good. Bernardo looked good. For me, Palmer's looking a wee bit no fully fit, no really match fit. Again, that will come with the match fitness, but I think you've got to do a bit more personally to dispose Forrest, Maeda and Kuhn at the moment. Even Forrest when Forrest plays at the moment, he's looking fit, he's looking sharp. So I think Palmer will play a bit this season, but I think most it will be from the bench personally. I might be wrong, but I do think Palmer has to do a bit more in terms, especially his work rate and some of the flashy stuff. Just do the simple thing and just make sure you're keeping the ball and making attacks happen, not just this kind of silly stuff. But I think overall, Alan, I think which was impressive for me the weekend was we weren't the vintage Celtic. We didn't have to be. We still played okay. Wee bit stuffy, wee bit parts of the game, but we didn't have to be excellent because, again, no disrespect to Hearts, they're known great being a form. They didn't really come and try too much. I was kind of hoping they were going to open the play a wee bit to make us kind of go and attack more, because I think they'd made a more attacking game, and especially for some of the neutrals, it'd have been a more eye-opening game if Hearts kind of came out and try and played a bit more, because Celtic would have, in my opinion, would have just let it rip. But I think what's good about that was last season that might have been a sticky game for us. Maybe not playing well, the passing wasn't really good in some parts. We might have done that game nothing each at the start of last season. But now, I know the wee man missed a few chances, but you still won 2-0. And I don't mind, striker, I'm only talking from my own experience. I don't mind missing chances as a striker, but eventually you will need to score them. But as long as you're getting in the positions, you're going to get goals eventually.
Yeah. No, definitely. As you say, we weren't at kind of vintage best, but as I say, it's a high standard we've set so far. So the players are all human beings. They're not going to be at their pomp kind of week on week. But it looks as if we've got enough quality in reserve. If we're not playing at 100%, we've still got enough to go over the line now in these types of games, which is massive. It means that there will be games we're not kind of really at we're absolute maximum, but we're still coming away with a relatively kind of convincing result. We're still coming away with a 2-0 victory, which could have been more. So everything within the club and everything on the park we're seeing, it just looks really positive. And I think it's got most of the Celtic fans really confident and really exciting for the upcoming season. And it's got us thinking that a treble could be on the cards. I don't know why can I say, we're definitely going to win anything like that, but we're playing well enough that it looks as if any team in Scotland are really going to have major problems kind of try to take any points off us whatsoever. It will happen, It's always going to happen. You will kind of drop off a bit and drop some points over the season, but the way we're playing at present, it's difficult to see when it's going to happen because we're playing at such a level that I don't know how any teams in Scotland are going to be able to kind of keep up with us and capable of kind of closing us down. So yeah, very, very positive, and just keep it up, Celtic, and let's keep it like this for the majority of the season.
I've seen obviously a few comments, Alan, about Hatate. For me, Hatate wasn't at his vintage best, but I do feel he is vital to the way we play, especially the wee man up front. I think when he plays, he gets iron needle passes through him and he scores a lot of goals through it. We've seen at the weekend, I know he missed a few chances, but I think we did lack that last season when Hatate wasn't playing. The manager mentioned it, that Kyogo's not the same player when he's not playing because he's not getting kind of lay balls through. But I think maybe a year on now, I think the team might be more in tune to the wee man's runs and the way that obviously Brendan wants to play. But do you think, for me, I will say, in my opinion, I know we'll chat about it during the week as it goes on, but I do feel that I think Bernardo could play on Wednesday over Hatate just for the work rates and the fact that he keeps the ball better, maybe potentially. Hatate does risk taking passes, and sometimes that's why he gives the ball away. But again, I don't mind that. But sometimes when you give the ball away against better teams, that could then impact you by maybe conceding a goal. So that's what the manager's messed a few times, where Rio been more consistent, not getting the ball away. Could you see Bernardo playing a big part on Wednesday, or do you think he'll just stick with what's been happening? Don't change it because your team has a good rhythm and just go with what's the way it's been. But he did change Engles for the derby game, and Bernardo was brilliant. So he's got a wee bit of no, I'm picking who I want. Don't care how good they're playing. This guy suits this game. He's playing. So do you think Bernardo could come in for Hatate on Wednesday?
I don't think so. I think if we are picking our strongest 11 at the best of their games, I think Rio Hatate's in that team all day long. I really appreciate how well Bernardo's coming on just now. How well he played against the other side of the city. He does look as if he's improved again, but at the end of the day, I think Rio Hatate is best. He kind of sees passes that I don't think anybody else on our side can. I think at his best, he's a very, very creative player that can change a game with a heartbeat. And if this was maybe the Dortmund game away, and you'd ask me that same question about what would you put in Paulo Bernardo instead of Rio Hatate, I'd probably say yes. But being kind of a home game in this new style of the Champions League, this being a home game, and it's probably a game, I don't want to disrespect kind of Bratislava too much, but this is a game that we are kind of possibly expected to take 3 points from. So I see us kind of having that kind of free-flowing attacking football that we're used to against most teams in Scotland, especially being at home. So for that reason, I think he'll probably keep. I think he'll keep the same team, barring any kind of injuries or anything like that. I think it'll be the same team that lined up on Saturday. Might be wrong, but he has got options there. And as we said before, I think the squad's kind of strong enough at present that it doesn't really deplete much from the quality of the squad if you make a couple of changes here and there. So whatever team lineup Brendan chooses to pick on Wednesday night, I'm sure every Celtic fan will be relatively pleased with what we're going to see.
A wee comment from Bill Evans here. Alan, put to yourself. It's a big man here. The game on Wednesday to me is like what we're used to playing against in qualifiers. I'd expect us to beat a team like this over 2 games. Not overconfident, but quietly confident we should do the business. Still a hard game though. We will be up for it, and the fans will need to be patient and stay with the team on the night. Quite a good point there, Alan, because as much as Bratislava, in terms of, if you look at bookmaker sites, Celtic are, I think they're 40-11, 1-2, 1-3, so the Celtic are very odds on with the bookmakers. Bookmakers tend to not obviously gamble responsibly. They don't really tend to get a lot of things wrong in terms of odds. They're normally 8-9 times out of 10, they're short odds for a reason. So but we can't discount them. They're in this format as much as us. They've earned the right. We've got to remember as well, yes, we've still got a good outfit for Scotland. Europe I know we done well last year in terms of beating Feyenoord, but we still finished bottom in a group we could have potentially done well in or better in. So we're still Celtic Europe. We're no great in Europe. We've no won, I think, is it a qualifying last 16 game or whatever, since 2004. What do you call it? A knockout game since 2004. So we're no great in terms of Europe. We've had some good results in the past, but I think now this is where, in my opinion, Alan, this is where Brendan Rodgers will get judged this time. This is where I think, because of a bit of money to spend, it's his team. So this is where last season it was right, get back into it, see how we go. The recruitment wasn't good. The recruitment's better this summer. He's got some of the players he wanted. You've got a good bench as well. I know Atlanta and Dortmund will be hard to beat. Leipzig at home as well, they'll be hard to beat. But I think this is now where you'll get judged and hopefully get a good start on Wednesday, get the fans behind the team, good atmosphere, make it as ferocious as we can. No this, let's come to Celtic, make it ferocious, make it hard for every team to come to. Get 3 points on Wednesday, because we know what we've got after it, and you don't want to get into these two games with results to start off with.
Yeah, it's massively important that we get these 3 points because we spoke about last week. After this home game, we have got Dortmund away, Atalanta away, and Leipzig at home, and they are going to be 3 very difficult games. We need to give full respect to Slovan Bratislava. They've obviously qualified. I'm sure I read last week it was Midtjylland they qualified against. Am I right? Pretty sure. But they've
you're right.
I said they've earned a right to be in the competition. We would be foolish to underestimate any opposition that we're going to come up against, because it's top level sides that are in this Champions League competition. So we can't underestimate these teams. But when you break it down, Celtic should be kind of picking up 3 points, especially at home against a team like Slovan Bratislava. I think we've beaten teams in the past that are at a higher calibre than Bratislava, with all due respect. And I think it's an absolute necessity that we pick up the 3 points for this first game, because, as I say, it's going to be a harder following 3 games after this game. And that would, if we don't pick up the 3 points out of this game, it might heap some pressure on towards where we're going to finish in this Champions League group.
I think it is a good point, Alan, that we can't underestimate anybody, because in terms of Celtic Europe, a lot of teams want Celtic in Europe, well, recently anyway, because at home we're no a fortress anymore. Away from home we don't pick up a lot of points, so we can't really be expected to beat anybody. Obviously on paper, in terms of the money we've spent, some of these teams haven't spent anywhere near what we've spent. So in terms of that, we've no excuse. So if we don't win on Wednesday, there's no excuse. Or we don't play against good teams in the league and this and that. Bratislava, I don't know everything about that league, but I know it's no great. It's no the Premier League, it's no La Liga, it's nothing like that standard. It's obviously still decent because they're still qualifying for Europe, but it's nowhere near the standard of some of the Celtic players. I think some of the Celtic players would play a few games in there and do really well, really, really well. So I don't think we can say that it's a top standard, but they'll come here with a point to prove. On TV, worldwide, Champions League, massive stage for some of their players. Obviously, Vladimir Weissel will come back to Celtic Park. Obviously, he's well known for playing with a team across the water, so he'll want to have a point to prove as well. So it's going to be one of the games, Alan, that I think you get a good start and get the crowd, obviously, behind the team and get the players firing. We've got a first caller in tonight, and it's John. John, I hope you're well. How are you doing?
Evening, lads.
Not bad. How you doing, John? What's your point tonight?
Right. First one, Ryan. And Alan, Ryan, about 6 months ago, you says if Celtic start a Champions League campaign with Scales and Taylor at the back, there's going to be a bit of trouble. So, what do you think?
I'm still no brilliant. But in terms of the way they're playing, we can't really argue the way they're playing recently. They've done well, but the European side will be where they're judged fully. This will be now where I think you'll see, because you can't really judge them in Scotland, because that's your bread and butter, and they're playing against teams who, no disrespect, that we should be beating most weeks. So the step up in level to European campaigns totally different. Greg Taylor's been exposed the last campaigns. Scales was not the best, had a few good moments last year, but it's no ideal. Obviously, we signed the boy Barry Valle for Barcelona, and obviously they've signed Trusty. I think he's been signed to help in Europe, but if Liam Scales keeps playing the way he's playing, then I've nothing to argue about, because he's done well this season. He's come in, done well against them across the water. Greg Taylor stepped up his performances because I think he knows who's behind him. But I do feel that these two guys were signed to help in Europe. Personally, I do think we should be looking at better for the Champions League, but I think, Alan, what John says, it's down to them to prove me wrong now in this format.
Yes, and in breaking news, Liam Scales and Greg Taylor have been kidnapped in the East End of Glasgow. So, no, I in an ideal world, John, we would have liked maybe a higher quality than Greg Taylor and Liam Scales, but that's not to take away from the fact that both of them have done extremely well the way they've played recently. Does Liam Scales scare me sometimes when he's on the ball? Completely, 100% he does. I think sometimes you'll get kind of heart in your mouth when you're watching that, but has Liam Scales done enough to drop out of the side? Has he done enough bad to drop out of the side? I'm not so sure. I think long term we have paid $6 million for another centre half. I think long term that he will be the guy that plays alongside Cameron Carter-Vickers. But it's only Brendan that can make that choice and when that does happen. So, yeah, in an ideal world, we probably would have liked a better level than Liam Scales and Greg Taylor, but we're still doing pretty decent, to be fair, so we need to just kind of respect that the guys are kind of professional footballers and they're doing their best for the green and white hoops that we love so much.
I think Scales defended really well on Saturday, cleared a lot of headers out of the box when we were under pressure. I think Taylor stepped up a level because he knows there's pressure on him. He knows we've got another left back. And I thought Carter-Vickers an absolute colossus on Saturday. He's absolutely fantastic. I can't believe how strong the guy is. But you're talking about Scales with the ball. I think we tend to leave Carter-Vickers marking the lone striker up front rather than Scales picking him up, and Scales starts a lot of the attacks because Vickers is what a defender, absolutely fantastic. What do you think of him Saturday?
Is he, John, do you think he's obviously a bit behind Van Dijk, but obviously you've seen a lot more than me, John, in terms of defending and stuff, but do you think he's one of the best we've signed in the last 20, 30 years?
I've paid $6 million for him, remember? So they put a lot of trust in him, and I think he's repaid it. And I still don't think he's 100% fit either. He had a boot on, was it last week he had the boot on? 2 weeks ago?
Just before
he seems to always pick up wee niggles, doesn't he? But he's absolutely fantastic. And I thought Engles was brilliant Saturday. What impressed me most when we lost the ball, how he hunted the ball down and defended it. He started a lot of the pressing when we lost the ball. I tend to think the boys you're not getting ahead of your station. I think the boys got a bit of everything about him. And for being 21-year-old, I think he's a very good prospect. And you don't want to say it. You want to keep him, obviously, as long as you can, but he could be one of the next ones to go for decent money.
I think it was very clear that he had a 4-year contract as well. He signed. It was only 4 years, and for us to spend that much money on somebody that's always signing a 4-year contract, I think it's pretty telling that. I know he's just in the door, and we need to kind of appreciate him while he's here, but it's pretty telling a 4-year deal that he probably sees his bigger future maybe in a higher level of league. But we can only respect that, and as I say, enjoy kind of talents like that for as long as we get to enjoy them and get to watch them, and that's just the way the Scottish Premier League, I'm afraid to say.
And I thought Cal McGregor was outstanding Saturday. He just totally dictates the play, controls the pace of the game, which will be really important for the European games. I think especially at home, because we're going to have many of the ball at home, away from home. We might have to defend a lot more. I think he'll play Kyogo on Wednesday. I can't see him playing either. Maybe play either away from home. Don't know, but for me, Kyogo's in a different stratosphere for Ida at the moment. He's a far better finisher. I was watching a lot of his runs on Saturday, and he does get frustrated. I don't think he's as frustrated as he previously was. He's making runs and then they're not finding him early enough. But I think with us playing quicker now, we are going to get more balls through him. He's playing the shoulder of the last defender, and he'll reap the rewards and score a lot of goals this season.
See, on Engles, John, obviously we've paid a lot of money for him, but it's something that I've been skimming about on here and just in general, that sometimes you need to pay a bit more quality, and you'll see that quality and you'll get that through being successful and then obviously selling on later on. Do you think, obviously it's early days, he's only played a full game and a wee bit of the derby game, but you can clearly see the guy's got quality, and you can clearly see that he's got a higher level already for his age and experience he's got. He just does the simple things, and you know yourself, John, you've been involved in football. Some people don't do the simple things well, and he does it very well, and I think that's the start of a good kind of building blocks for a good player.
He's absolutely bought for Europe in mind. Do you know what I mean? To try and progress us. And Brendan's always talking about progressing in Europe. This boy will definitely help us. I'm not saying we will progress, as in getting out the first stage, but I think you've got a better chance with him in the team. And it's the Hatate Bernardo conundrum. It's going to be either or, isn't it? It'll be one of the two.
I think so.
But I think maybe a wee bit tell him when he taking Hatate off early on Saturday. Maybe keep him a wee bit for Wednesday. I think he'll do that prior to the European games. Take them off. Your important players off after maybe an hour or so. Protect them for the European games coming up.
Yeah.
And but I definitely think who do we play next weekend?
Falkirk the Cup.
Falkirk. I think you will see a few changes for next weekend, but obviously we'll come to that later on in the week. Because I think it's going to take a lot out of us on Wednesday. I don't understand why we're playing really, really quick, but when Brendan came back last season, it was very slow, wasn't it? It was poor, but I don't know what's clicked, and we seem to be firing all cylinders. And I think it's going to be, I'm not saying an easy season, you can never say that, but I can't see who's going to beat us, lads, to be honest with you. I think we've just got too much, and the strength of the bench is absolutely frightening, by the way. The strength of the bench is so much better this season, especially that McCowan came on, didn't look at a place, he didn't hide, he just didn't play a wee simple pass, which some people might do. He just got tore in, really liked him, and me and Ryan spoke about it a couple of days ago. That I think he's going to play a bit more than what he might have thought. I think the boy's got a chance.
That's a long season.
Aye. Hopefully there's a lot of games. Hopefully. We're in the cup competitions to the later stages, and they can all get shots, can't they? You're going to need a big squad.
Definitely. No, I definitely agree with what you're saying with Engles was kind of bought for Europe. Would you kind of take your mind back to last year, maybe the Lazio games and the Atletico Madrid games, maybe both the Lazio game and then the Atletico Madrid at home? If we had somebody that kind of calibre of Engles that could maybe spot that pass or make that change, could we have maybe picked up 3 points in one of the games? Could we have maybe picked up an extra point here and there? I don't know. I think you're adding somebody with that quality. I think it could only bode well for this season going forward, especially in Europe. Because sometimes it is just the smaller things. It's the finer margins that maybe there's the difference between 0 points and that extra point that can help us kind of progress and maybe, I'm dreaming here, but maybe even qualify.
You never know. You never know.
See, obviously, John, you mentioned the squad depth. That's something that I think we've all spoken about, how had to get better, especially for Europe. But it's also good as well that when you've got the next game, obviously, at the weekend, you can chop and change, so you're not really losing quality. Like you mentioned there, Bernardo Hortati might play on Wednesday, and then one might play on Sunday, and you're not really, and McKibben might come in, Eder might come up front, you've got Thursday there, you've got the left back for Barcelona, you can even play Sinisal on goals on Sunday, so you're really playing the first team just about every week, even if you change the team.
Previously, there used to be maybe a couple of bench fillers, young Scottish boys, whatever, just to make the numbers up on the bench, get the quota. But the bench is full of quality now, and you're not going to really weaken the team that much, are you? With the boys that's coming off the bench.
We've not seen a couple of them yet, a couple of new signings, so we'd look forward probably to the Falkirk game to get a good look at them. Aye,
definitely.
Look forward to that game. Can I see
what
left back and centre halves about?
Well, the left back, that's somebody that I'm really excited to see. Obviously, he came to Barcelona. He was playing, well, he wasn't playing every week with them, but he was on the bench before he came to us. Done okay in pre-season, apparently. So he's obviously got some sort of ability, John, to still be running about the Barcelona team. I think he's 20-year-old. To still be in that squad, still be in the kind of final team maybe play, he must have something about him, because the fact that they've not sold him yet, I know he might go after this season, but the fact that he's that age and still in that kind of squad, for me, it seems he might have some sort of ability, because 9 times out of 10, they don't really keep young boys if they're no good. They maybe go away on loan to Spanish teams, and then they go away on loan again, or they get sold, or they get released. So the fact that he's 20-year-old still kicking about there, he must have some sort of ability, John.
Aye, but it must be very good if he's going to get a game before Greg Taylor. I've been really surprised at how much Greg Taylor's improved the last, say, 6 months or so. This season, I think he's been absolutely fantastic. And I'm not his biggest fan as well, by the way. Just like you, with skills as well. I think you can get better players, but as people say, Taylor's giving his all. You're playing for fucking Celtic. Of course you're going to give your all. You're a pro, you're going to give your all every game. But I think he's been absolutely excellent. Really, really good. Improved quite a bit. And he's a very, very vocal player as well in the park. He's a really important player in the team. And I can see him getting another contract to get a pay rise. I don't know if he'll get a 4-year deal like most of them has been getting. But do you think he's due a deal as well? I think so anyway.
I think he will get one. I think he's deserved it in a sense. Again, how long they give him, I don't know. Celtic tend to give long contracts. I think John's right. I think he does deserve a new deal, but I do feel, again, maybe I'm just wanting better all the time. I do feel, especially for the European, again, it could surprise me. It could be amazing in this format, and it could be the left back that takes us forward. But just for what I've seen in the past, I think longer term, especially for the European side, you might get to the latter stages, or you get to the nitty-gritty times. I do feel we need a bit better. But I think overall, Aaron, he's in a new deal, and especially for domestic side, he's absolutely fine and does very well.
No, definitely. Credit where credit's due. I think both Taylor and Liam Scales have done exceptionally well they've came for basically Shamrock Rovers and Kilmarnock as well. I think Taylor does deserve a new deal. I think definitely. I think we spoke about it last week, Ryan, about the stumbling block maybe that he's come in for Kilmarnock. I don't necessarily think he'll be on such a high wage at present. And I think he'll probably be looking for that massive step up in the wage, because he'll be sitting there and his agent will be saying to him, you're playing week in, week out in a Celtic team. You're one of the first names in that team sheet. You're playing the majority of the minutes across the whole season. When you look at last season, he was one of the highest kind of minute performers. So he'll be looking for a massive hike in his wages. He'll be saying he wants kind of nearer up to, maybe not the highest paid player, but he'll be wanting up to that kind of echelon, that bracket. He'd been one of the highest players, paid players And for that jump between where he is just now and up to that, I think that might be a stumbling block. But I'm sure they'll probably sign a new contract and they'll meet in the middle somewhere. And I probably expect an agreement to be in place before we get to the kind of turn of the year.
Seeing you're talking about contracts, just a wee quick one. Do you think they should offer Schmeichel another deal?
I think they've got the option there a year. They've got the option of another year, Celtic have. So they can implement that kind of immediately if they wanted. They've got the option to have them for an extra year. Obviously, the player agrees that, but I think that's already in the contract.
What's your thoughts on him, John? Before we kind of let you go, which do you think he could be a difference for us in Europe as well instead of start attacks?
Aye, Joe Hart was a great goalkeeper for Celtic, but what game was that in Europe? He was standing behind the fucking line, remember?
I can't remember.
Do you not remember it last season? He was standing behind the line.
Oh, aye.
Was
that
it fine?
not a European game? That's no. So not Atletico Madrid?
I can't remember. I think it was away from home.
Aye. You stood behind the goal before it came in? Aye.
I think Schmeichel might help us in Europe with his kicking. He's very vocal. I thought he was just a similar standard to Joe Hart at first, but I think he's just a wee upgrade on him, to be fair. Was he 37, is it?
37, I'm sure. Aye.
Is it? 37,
38, so aye, but...
Let's be fair, he doesn't get overworked in the domestic game, does he? He had very little to do on Saturday, a couple of television saves, and he had a good save in the second half at 1-0. But I would try and keep him. I would try and get him another deal even, if he's open to it.
No, I think John's right there, because I think it was one in the game where he started a throw and it started an attack. And just watching myself, he's very good with the ball. His feet's a bit quicker as well. So I think everything you've said, John's bang on. But we'll let you go, John. Enjoy your rest of the night, and thank you very much.
No worries, lads.
Cheers, John. Bye-bye. Quite good point said, Arne, from John, obviously, in terms of Kasper Schmeichel. What's your thoughts on Schmeichel, Alan, since he's come in? Obviously, quite good, John said that, because it leads on another topic. Obviously, Kasper came in. Don't want to say there was doubts about him, but the fact that we didn't spend, shall we call, big money on a goalkeeper, why we signed a free agent, is this just because Brendan's got him in, it's not a board signing, etc. There's a wee bit here, but now we've seen exactly why he came in. He's good with the ball, his feet, he's very, very good distribution, getting out to the wide men, starting attacks, and he's throwing, he's very quick. So I think, all in all, Alan, he could be vital in Europe, and we've seen how, even when he's not had a lot to do, we've seen it at the Derby game, the last kick of the ball, he's still making saves, he's still sharp, and I think he's a major player for this team, mate, especially in Europe.
I think since he's come in, he's been exemplary. I think he's been fantastic. I still, just to go back, I still don't agree with the way we maybe done more business as a club with the goalkeeping situation. I think this was a kind of last minute thing with Brendan bringing Kasper in, but it turns out that Brendan's last minute thing has actually worked out really well for us, because he does look as if he's still a proper quality goalkeeper. His major test will be against the kind of likes of Dortmund, Atalanta, Leipzig. I think he'll be under far more pressure than he has been kind of getting against the kind of smaller clubs like Hearts and Rangers. So you will see the next European games, I think, and hopefully he can continue his kind of clean sheets over the next number of games, because that's already a record already, the first five league games. So he has been very impressive, and I just hope that continues to be the case for the next few games, definitely, anyway.
Yeah, I have put the link in the chat. We have space for one more caller for the rest of the night. As obviously a good chat with John there, but a wee bit longer. But it was good to chat to John and get his points we have one space left for the rest of the night. For anybody who wants to phone in, don't be shy. You can use the audio or you can use the camera. If you want a wee chat, click in the link and we'll get you in as soon as we can. If not, just enjoy the rest of the chat. For when Alan, post your comments, please. Any questions at the end of the show, but 10-15 minutes left at the end of the show. Me and Alan will fire away and do what we can to help you out and get some of the views across. But please do fire in, give your opinion, and we'll get a wee chat with you for 5-10 minutes. Obviously, with the game in mind at Celtic Park on Wednesday, what's your early inkling? Obviously, myself and yourself and JP will chat, obviously, take me to paradise during the week about that. But what is your early signs and early thoughts on the game on Wednesday?
It's a must-win, I think, even at this early stage of the competition. I think when you look upon the fixture list that we have got, if we have any aspirations to kind of qualifying from to the next stage, I think this is definitely a game that we would look upon to get the maximum 3 points. I think we're going to have a lot harder opposition in the following games. I think we're more than capable of picking up the 3 points. With all due respect to kind of Slovan Bratislava. But I think, again, if we've got any aspirations to be in this competition in the next round, then I think that Slovan Bratislava is a team that we should respect, but we should definitely be expecting to pick up maximum points from. We
do have a wee caller, and it's a good man, Kaiser. Kaiser, how are you?
Legends.
You good?
Doing good, my man. Just back from Spain. The mighty Brendan Rodgers turned up in a tunic, broke off my man JP and picked me up, boys. Come on. Let's go.
How are you, mate? What's your point tonight, mate? How are you?
I get rid of this paddle. I just chilling. I was like,
I wanted to talk about the back of you.
That's my son running about that's my son because the green screen, bro. I'm actually in my kitchen. Hold on, I'll show you, right, bro. I flip this. It's just an app that comes with my graphics card in the computer where I can change the background. Brilliant. You know what I mean? I can have it on or off. See my son's kicking around. You know what I mean, guys?
What's your point tonight, mate?
I just wanted to talk about the financial release that the board has put forward, talking about the volume of money that we have in the bank, and they're the figures from before player sales and player transfers. The amount of money that we're sitting on, it's kind of giving me that Peter Lawwell is starting to look like that big dragon for the Hobbit, Smog. You know what I mean? He's just got a big pile of gold behind him. And he's swimming in it like Scrooge McDuck. He pulls his clave, he dives into a moat of pound coins every night. You know what I mean? I'm like, when are we going to spend this money? I understand the player transfers, right? And I also understand the players we've brought in, we've beefed up the quality. So I didn't want to be too hypercritical of the board. I think in a business sense, they're like the fucking Lone Rangers of business. We're one of the only profitable clubs. Peter Lawwell's dining at the top tables of Europe. You know what I mean? He's made amazing moves in a business sense. So I didn't want to diminish any of that. I'm just like, where is the future coming from? Where is this hotel? Where is the player investment? Where is in my opinion, where is the Celtic group? Where is a global TV app where we can all watch Celtic at £10 a month rather than pishy Celtic TV that's like the top of Bill and Ted's phone box? Celtic Girl with chewing gum and dreams. You know what I mean? And that was my wife's arm that floated by. She was just flexing on the way by there.
I think on that, I think what Kaiser says around, I think I spoke about it a while ago. I think myself and you and JP spoke about the domestic side, that it'd be good to have like an SPFL TV where you didn't actually have to, if you couldn't go to a game, you could pay £10 a month and you get the home and away games. But I know other clubs have got their own TV, Sky Sports, BT, Premier Sports, they're all involved, so that would be hard. But what do you think Kaiser's saying there? Obviously, there's people, you need to subscribe to Celtic TV, which I get, it's a business. I don't like the idea that I think if you're either a book holder or you've got, if it's a share or whatever, you should be getting that for free. I think that should be something on your book, personally. I know a lot of people kind of get season books, and I get that, but I think something for the fans should be that if you're a book holder, or you should get a discount at least anyway. But what's your thoughts on what guys are saying? That obviously the financial stuff, listen, it's brilliant. It means that we've got money to obviously to spend. Ideally, if it's to do stuff for the stadium, there's parts of the stadium needs done up, bits that need painted. Some of the stuff does need change to make it modernised. They have done that during obviously the break with the tunnel and other things. They are spending a bit more money in terms of the transfers. Hope for that's the way forward, going forward next year and the years going forward, Alan. But what's your points to go with Kaiser, mate?
I think with the Celtic TV, that's always good if you're out with kind of Britain as well. There's no way, well, unless you've got some sort of device that plugs into your TV.
Which we don't deal with.
We don't condone whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right, but there is obviously, Peter Law has been very shrewd and very smart on some of the aspects that it's been over the last kind of 2 decades at Celtic that's made us a considerable amount of money. Do I think we should be spending more of the money? Completely, I do. Am I still pleased with the amount of money that was spent recently? Yeah. I think that we've obviously broken my transfer record twice in one window, but considering we've brought in kind of 30 million for Matt O'Reilly, do I think there was a bit more room there for a bit more finance to be splashed out? I do think that as well. I'm hoping that in January next year that we are able to kind of splash out even more, because as Kaiser's said there, well, still the accounts are out with the kind of Champions League money that's going to follow this year, that's out with the kind of Matt O'Reilly sales or other relevant sales. So we need to be in a great position at the start of next season to go into these qualifiers for the Champions League, because that's the position we're going to be in. If we find a season that we're not qualifying for the Champions League directly, then we need to be in the strongest position possible so that we are not losing out on that finance year on year. And it's a domino effect as well with regards to that, because if we lose out in 1 year's finance, then you'll be sure as damn it the following year we will not be investing as much as we possibly could if we qualified for the Champions League. So, yeah, like the hotels things and all the kind of refinancing to make more money for the club, I think there is a lot more room for manoeuvre there and a lot of room for us to improve. I'll not quite go as far as downing Mr. Law as some of the fans were doing outside the stadium kind of last month or so, but I think there is a bit of room for improvement. But I'm still relatively pleased with the players we brought in, so I'm on the fence with this one, to be fair. Don't know how you feel, Ryan.
No, I do believe that I think this club's got a major growth in us, Alan, especially in Europe. I know it would help if we did play in a better league. That would help us be more prepared. But I think sometimes, like I say, in terms of this format, some of the teams in it, there's no excuses because they've not got the budget that we have got, some of them. So for me, there's no excuses. I think this is, we've strengthened. We've spent £11 million on a good player. We've spent good money in Adam Meader. We've spent, I think, over £25-30 million. So there's no excuses now. This is the most money we've spent, I think, in terms of certain players. We've broke the record. So the manager's got his players now that he's ideally probably wanted. We've got a good backup as well on the bench. So I think for me, Kaiser, don't know your thoughts on the Champions League. With what you'd like to go, mate. What's your thoughts on the Champions League? How do you think we'll go? And do you think we're a far better place than we were last season to maybe go and do something this season?
I think, first off, Ryan, what you said about a global app, right? I was thinking a Celtic sense, Celtic fans investing in that app, say, £10 a month, 600,000 fans buy that. That's 6 million a month. That's 72 million a year. See, across the city, the same thing. Relative numbers can happen, right? Why don't we have an SFA app like you hinted on? That would be the only way to bring major investment to the SFA, restructure the league and have real prizes for winning the league, real money on the line. You know what I mean? 74, 80 odd million, and then the investment in all the youth football and the other clubs in the league. That's the only way really forward for that, to fix it all in an overall view. When it comes to us in the Champions League, I love the fact that we've added Arne Engles, right, and the absolute ability and quality of him. I love that to be the new benchmark of we're going to bring these incremental stages. Players are going to come in at 11 million all the time. And I have been guilty myself of looking at the game and thinking, just adding all the elements up in my mind in the dream scenario. I'm an endless dreamer. I'm like, the crowd, the volume of noise, the new players to our club being affected by that, feeling the power of the 12th man. I just don't see us losing this game in any way, shape or form. I did think we were going to absolutely run savvy. It would be something like 6-0. That's what I'm dreaming of. But looking at Bratislava and the way they play and how they managed to scrape through the last few games, I think they're kind of reminiscent of the old Iron Curtain from across the city. They like to defend, play tough, play hard. It could be a long, drawn-out game, but I still see Celtic winning. I still see us winning out this tie. But I would take any 3 points, not the road. 1-0, 2-1, 6-0 preferably for me, because I'll be doing breakdancing here in the kitchen. But you know what I mean? Any win's a goal.
Yep, I agree with you, Kaiser. Alan, would you think Kaiser says it before we let him go?
Oh, definitely. Any win at all. I think that's imperative during the week, as we've specified over the last hour or so. I think that the upcoming games after this one are going to be on a different level of kind of difficulty. But we're going to be up against it. The match day 2, match day 3 away to Dortmund and Atalanta. So I think it's absolutely imperative that we achieve maximum points in this first game, and then go for there and see if we can manage to pick up anything else on the road in the next couple of games following that.
Aye, I think that's crucial, Alan. It's picking up 3 points to starters and get the feel good factor, I think, in the next 2 games, because they will be tough games. We can't be foolish to understand that they will be really hard games to try and get around. But listen, we'll deal with that when it comes. But Kaiser, have a good night, mate. Thanks for chatting to us, and we'll chat to you again, mate. Hail, hail. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. Alan, just before we end the show, mate, there's 1 or 2 wee comments that we'll obviously put in. John says, if the Commonwealth Games take place at Celtic Park, then we've got qualifiers. They won't be at Paradise. What do you think of that?
Field are 4, wasn't it? Aye. Well, we will have qualifiers next year. There's no doubt about it. So if that's the case, then we'll all be playing at Murrayfield. But I think it's already decided that there will be qualifiers next year, no matter what happens this year. It's like a 5-year stage, a coefficient. So it's already been decided for next year that we've not achieved enough coefficient to qualify directly into the Champions League.
Aye. Seen a few comments as well. I've got one there before we go. Peter says, do you think, I don't know if it's Valley or Barry, I'm just going to call him Alex. The left back.
Come on, yes. Xander.
Xander. Do you think Xander?
Nah, Xander's not playing.
Do you think Xander will play?
Doubt it. I think I just can't see him making many changes. I think that we'll see. I think it'll be the exact team that played at the weekend there. And if he does make any changes, I think it'll maybe be like for Bernardo, for maybe Hatate or such. I don't see. I was thinking about the wing there, but I don't see him dropping Kuno or Maida. So I just see it as if it's going to be basically the same team until the new guys get a chance, like Xander and Trusty. I just see it being kind of Taylor and Scales as it is just now until the guys get a chance to kind of come in and see what they can do.
Just want to apologise as well. I know the 2 guys had 1 or 2 wee sweary words there. Apologise. I'll need to give them some backhanders for that. That's not nice. I know that a bit passionate. It's nothing malice. But please, guys, when you do come on the chat, please try and refrain from swearing. I know what happens. Listen, I do it myself the odd time. Please try your best not to swear. I know it's not always possible, but just try your best. Obviously, as well, before we go, if you've just joined us, a wee bit of announcement tonight. Saturday, 19th of October, it's the Celtic Unrestricted View. We will be joined with Joe Miller at the Morven Bar. That is Saturday, 19th of October. We will be joined by Joe Miller at the Morven Bar. We will have more information in the next few days regarding that. But again, Alan, it's good to get that going, and it'll be good for the viewers, obviously, the podcast and other Celtic fans, hopefully, to have a good night with Joe, listening to maybe us talking some sort of sense if we can. But it'll be good to see Joe and get to kind of know Joe's experience in football, his journey at Celtic, and obviously we'll say too much what we want to talk about, but it'll be good to obviously talk to Joe, and it's good for the podcast to get that going.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Really looking forward now that it's been confirmed. So it'll be a great night, and hopefully we get to meet a lot of the kind of faces behind the messages that we're seeing week in, week out on here. So yeah, as you say, there's a few kind of final details to be ironed out, and then we'll get the information across with regards to tickets and times and that. But 19th October, Joe Miller, Morven Bar. Really excited by it. What do you think, Rick?
No, it'll be a good night, mate. It'll be a really good night. Obviously, like you says, when you speak to players like that who played with Celtic, it's always good, Alan. And it's always a good experience to get to know their stories. And we've spoken to some guys on here before that played with Celtic, some who haven't. And it's just good to get to know their knowledge, who they've played with, etc., etc. And hopefully it'll be a very, very good night. I know it will be a good night because when ex-Celtic players come to a night, it's always very good, mate. And you always get to listen to stories. You walk away actually going, that was what a night. I've not heard that story before, or I didn't know that about him. So looking forward to it. But again, thanks for your time tonight, Alan. Everybody who's been joined tonight with us, Johnny Kaiser, thanks a lot. Everybody in the chat, if I'm looking through your comments, apologise, but it's been good to get your comments and opinions. We'll be back during the week with a Take Me to Paradise. Myself, Alan, and a good man, Jivey, will be back from sunny Santa Ponza. We will be back for an episode during the week for the Bratislava game, just to obviously go through the details of the game and kind of more into depth of that. But again, thanks for your time, guys. Hail, hail, and take care.
Hail, hail.
The Celtic Unrestricted View is sponsored by AB Entertainment. It's a DJ and entertainment business, and we are also partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. Both our sponsor and our partner are on social media and can be found on Facebook or Instagram. So feel free, guys, to check them out as they offer fantastic services, and enjoy the upcoming episode. Hail, hail.